Hey guys, Deb Horn here at WeBuyHouses.com. Welcome to the Cash Offer Masterclass, episode number 32. Today I'm going to do a short one. I think the last two videos have been just a lot to watch and you may be tired. So I want to give you a little bit of a break today. I want to talk about a subject that's interesting, and that subject is subject to. Subject to means a house will be offered to us and they'll say, hey, give me a little bit of money and take over the loan. So what they're saying is, I'm selling you this house subject to the existing financing. Now, why is that interesting to us? It is because old loans are often at 2 or 3%, somewhere around that range. We can't get that money today. So if you can buy a house subject to the current financing, the existing financing, and that financing is actually 3.25%. I think it's the one we're going to look at here in just a second. That is very interesting. So we like to look at subject to. Guys, I know a guy, Mike Anderson in Tucson, Arizona. He's the WeBuyHouses.com guy there. Mike's in his 70s. He built his business on subject to buying houses, using the existing financing, putting a renter in there more than the mortgage was, and he built up a portfolio of hundreds of homes through subject to. Now, eventually what Mike did was he refinanced the homes, paid those existing mortgages off, refinanced them when he could get better terms and more of a portfolio loan instead of a bunch of individual mortgages. And that's how he ended up basically owning a ton of homes, hundreds of homes in the Tucson area. He owns them, not on people's existing mortgages anymore. He eventually took those loans. That's how subject to can work. And in certain times, in certain areas, it can be a fantastic way for us to acquire properties, for flipping or for rentals or whatever it might be. The rental scenario is really awesome. If you can get more in rent than you're paying on the monthly subject to loan. And that's one of the things we'll look at today. But I'm also going to show you there's a few problems with subject to, I think. But this is a house that was sent to us by Fazio Real Estate Solutions. I have no relationship with them. I just use their content in my videos. But if you have any interest in this property, or really, they have properties all over Texas. If you're watching my videos, you know that. Reach out to Jade Vaughn at 214-646-9646. I really appreciate Fazio. They are pros at the wholesaling business. And as you see, they give us an email that gives us fantastic information. And it's kind of exciting here. What do we see? We see a house in 5911 Kellogg Court, Converse, Texas. And it is looking like a subject to opportunity. They're saying the ARV 340, but you could buy the house for 40 and assume the loan of 254. So that, what does that look like? 294, something like that. So is that a deal? Sounds exciting. Sounds like you could pay a little money, assume a loan, and be in a house with equity right off the bat. And then that loan has a $1,694 payment on it. That's includes the interest and taxes and insurance, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Pity. And so that means all in $1,700 a month. Like if you could rent this house for $2,000 a month, you could buy it for $39 and cash flow it using the existing mortgage, and cash flow $300 a month. Not real exciting, but you get the idea of how a subject to can work for you. So what we're going to do, I want to make sure I'm out of the way. I'm not usually in this studio. Okay. So what we're going to look at is a few things. I went out, of course, in advance, and I Googled this thing, see what the ARV is, but I found some really unusual stuff going on. Number one, when I looked at I did Googling, the first thing that popped up was auction.com. And what I found is that this property is set to auction on Tuesday, November 4th at the Bexar County Courthouse building. It's going to be sold on the steps. Let's see. It's in foreclosure and all that kind of stuff. This is all public information. Not sharing anything that you couldn't see just by typing in an address. So basically, what do we see here? Auction.com says the estimated market value is $290. So that's a good chunk, a good $50,000 less than what we're being told as far as the ARV. And whoops, don't mean to go over there yet. And we're going to go next to Zillow. What does Zillow have? They've got a Zestimate of 280. Do they have a price history on this bad boy? They do. At one point, remember the 2022 to 2023 time I told you was the apex of the housing market here in Texas. Yet another house that gives us evidence of exactly what I've been telling you guys. That house was $320 back then. It's now $280. That's a loss, if I'm right, of $40,000 in market value over that period of time. So they're saying, yeah, $280. And I went to a realtor. Realtor, for some reason, didn't have the property, but they had all its neighbors. And they're all in that 245, 290, 280, 290, 230, 30, 255. You can see none of these properties are in around the house are in that $340 range. So, and then again, I looked in Property Radar. When I come over to my calculator, I found Zillow at that 280, Auction.com with that 290, Property Radar. Oops, I didn't update that. I'm sorry. I think I repeated the same number. It was around the same. I can't open that and show it to you because it shows personal information that's I can't show you. We'll just say 287 is our average of what we got there. And I came over here and found that with that, wait, let's make sure I got my square feet right. Do I got, yeah, 2241. I copied those to the model. Good for you, Dev. You did the pre-work. Well, to get to something around 287, it's 128 per square foot. Now, why do I do per square foot? It's because in the real estate business, we look at everything per square foot. If somebody says my neighbor's house sold for $340, I should get $340 for my house. I say, is it the same size house? Oh, no, he's got a bigger house. It doesn't work that way, right? It's that per dollars per square foot. Now, if your neighbor's house sells at a really good price and you look at it and man, it sold at 156 per square foot, you can apply that per the square feet in your house and get a pretty good idea of what your house might sell for. All right, that's my rant on that. And we're at the 287. And here, this is why I think this will be a quick video. I don't need to talk a lot about this. I can just make a very quick point that the wholesaler was saying 340 is the ARV. We're actually finding it's going to be more like 280 something. And that being on the high end, if we kind of look at it in comparison to what we see in the neighborhood, we do see some 280s and 290s out there. If we saw, the next step would be to see, are those the same? Oh, wait. Guys, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Look at that. There it is. They did have it. 290, 200. 290, 200. What did I have in the model? I didn't have anything. Let's just put 290, 200. It's going to make the same thing. Right. If I make this 290, 200 and say that's realtor, you get the idea. We're still at the 286. Yeah, sorry. That was crazy. I didn't find it in the Google search, and then I didn't see it on that page. Thank you for pointing that out to me. I am an old man and it takes me a while to figure things out. All right, so we're back to this idea that there's a 286 possible ARV on this property, and that would assume that it's in perfect condition. What could we pay for it? We want 200. What is the problem? Let me find my finger. The problem is this right here. Ooh, see it? What do they want? They want $39,500 in cash, right? That's right there. And they want it subject to the underlying mortgage of $254,869. So $254,869. What is that? That's a total of $294,369. The maximum cash offer we could make for the property in perfect condition would be $94,000 less than that. So this is, again, the problem that I'm seeing with subject to deals right now is they could tell me that this subject to opportunity is free. There's no upfront cash. Just take over the balance. That's $254,000. I still don't want to do that on this property. The property is max all day long. I think around this $286,000 that I stumbled into, as you witnessed. But sorry about that. But yeah, oops, dang. So there lies our problem. Like, it doesn't even matter if we go look and do repair estimates or all that. It's just going to make the number smaller. And if the number gets smaller, the deal just gets farther and farther and farther away from what we could possibly do. Now, just to satiate our desire for real estate content, I have it. I think you do. Let's just spin through these images real quick. Oh, I was kind of expecting, honestly, look. Kids' room, not bad. Blurry picture. Other kids' room, not bad. If you had a boy and girl, you're ready to move in. Carpet is from 2020. It's when the house was built. So it's got, 5-year-old carpet in it. Depending upon the quality, carpet can last a lot more years. It's got some sort of, LBP like floor product, nice vanities. It's only a 5-year-old house. It's not bad. Kitty's got a place to go. Let's just kind of check the laundry room if we see anything up. Yeah, it's a laundry room. We're looking at a hallway. Here's the mechanicals. Hope they open that door for us. Will they open the door for us? Closet. Stand-up shower in the... How many bathrooms do we have here? We got 3 bathrooms. One of the bathrooms, obviously, has a stand-up shower, no bathtub. Yeah, with a little cleaning, I'd take a shower in there. I don't know about you. It's not horrible. It's only a 5-year-old house. It's like, if your aunt or uncle invited you to come spend the weekend, it's probably going to be like that right there. All right, look at... Oh, dang it. How did I get out of the image? Okay, we're here. So, yep, floor product, decent vanity, pretty plain. This is plain Jane Builders Quality 2025 out there in Converse, Texas. Where's Converse, Texas? Did we ever look? It is up in the San Antonio greater area because it's inside of that 1604 loop. So, not a bad area, right? Look at that. Right near in the city. This isn't out in the middle of nowhere. I think that's something to be said for this. If you're in the San Antonio area, this is not a bad spot. Come on. And they're showing all these wires, man. Look at all those wires. It's almost like they might be renters because as I look at it, I just don't see kind of things that people do if it's their home. As far as artwork on the wall and stuff like that. I think there needs to be a cosmetic run through on this house. It needs some paint. Most of the flooring is probably good, and countertops in the kitchen are going to be like a granite product. Nice pantry. Dark cabinets. That's cool. Backyard. Again, nothing ever done with it. There's no pride of ownership here. Somebody comes in, landscapes this, puts some borders around it, a fire pit or whatever. Just make it cool. All right. Again, minimal stuff. I don't see anything physically wrong with the property. I didn't expect to. It's a 5-year-old, very nice, kind of mid-tier builder's grade home. fan, see, you can see is more modern. Like as we look at homes, you see a lot of old-timey old fans hanging up there. That one's, within the last 5 years kind of fan. They are ready for Christmas when it happens. Who knows when the pictures were taken. I'm assuming that tree is just standing there waiting for Christmas. Got an island out there, just an open concept thing. That's very open concept. It's kind of like you just want all big room together. There's really nothing that feels like it divides it into sections or anything. And it's like a utility room. I don't know if that's where the outlets, the dryer. I don't know if that was where the washer and dryer go. Hard to tell. And there's one of the other bathrooms they haven't been cleaning. Okay, look at that. That's kind of disgusting. I would not take a shower in that one. This is like the kids' room. They don't care about it as much as the kids' bathroom. I hate to say it, but this could have been, they need some TLC. All right, need some TLC. I don't see anything functionally wrong. I would toss that builder's grade faucet right there. Easy to swap those out with something much nicer. And those, really, all these countertops are white. They don't look weird or funky color or anything. They will go with anything. They've got dark stain on the cabinetry. It's not hard to make this place look really nice. Not hard at all. Good texture on the walls. No popcorn on a 2025 house. That's what we like about that. Yep. Pretty standard stuff. Nice knocked down texture on the walls. Some of the walls are kind of dirty. I don't see any damage. I don't see anything really other than the painting. I would paint that garage, by the way. Very important that you paint these surfaces to protect them. Otherwise, the paper surface actually absorbs moisture. It's not good over time. These will literally become brittle. So you should always paint your garage. Even though you buy a house and they didn't paint it, they cheaped out. They should have thrown a layer of paint on it. So it's up to us. Up to us to save these houses. All right. Again, got a kitty and a dog, and they're coexisting. This is like left and right in politics. Come on, guys. We can live. Now, in some cases, we may want a big, thick wall between us and one of us on a stair for easy escape. I think that's how we could learn to live together, and these guys have taught us that today. This is, what I'm not really seeing is, I like to see you guys know that mechanical stuff. Open up that door and show me the HVAC, show me the condenser unit outside, show me the breaker box. And then I think we're at the end. This was all we're going to do with this, and we're not going to go in here. Well, it did need cosmetic. Maybe, let's say it didn't need a lot of cosmetic. It need 11 grand. So now we're at like 189. See what I mean? If I start putting stuff in here, we're just on our way to a silly number compared to what they want, which is $294,000. Would this be a good deal for some? This is not even a good deal for a retail homeowner, because I think in that neighborhood they could go buy a house at 280, 290. That probably, isn't maybe as rough cosmetically. So this is a problem. It's a problem deal. Don't see it. Don't see it for an investor. Don't see it even for a retail buyer or a handyman. There's not enough there to save, by taking on the risk of doing this deal. Sorry, Fazio. I love most of your deals, and it's cool to see a subject to, and for my audience to be able to look at a subject to deal and understand what's really going on when they're asking us to assume their mortgage. Is that good? What did they say the rate was? The rate was, 3.25. Sounds exciting. Payment's not bad, but it's not a good deal. A retail buyer might take it at the just payoff amount. This thing's going to auction though, I think. And we'll see. I'll try to follow up on this one and see what happened with it. I think it's going to go to auction. So see you guys. Hope you have a wonderful day. Talk to you tomorrow.